Hello there, my name is Letitia Pfinder and welcome to my channel for 7 days of Christmas cards. Today's card is an elegant yet simple heat embossed snowflake design. I started off with a pre-folded silver card base that I got from the Dollar Tree and it's made by Forever in Time. I went ahead and used my anti-static bag and then began stamping my snowflakes with VeraMark ink. I used 2 different snowflake stamps and a small gathered dot stamps, all from the same stamp set. It's by Clear Impressions and it's called Just Chillin. I got the stamp set for free in a magazine, so you can use whatever you find, like you have or you can find, because I'm not sure if you can still get your hands on this. Anyways, I stamped the first layer of embossing with all 3 of the stamps and just kind of placed them somewhat evenly as I went along, one at a time. Making sure to leave just a few empty spaces because we're going to put in some gold accents after. Right, so I then set them with my heat tool. And for the first bit of embossing, I used the Snow Pearl embossing pattern by Recollections. And I just brushed off any excess or anything that was hanging around. It's a pretty good tip if you're new to heat embossing, especially, is to keep a clean, dry paintbrush nearby, and you can kind of just brush off any little bits that stuck somewhere that you don't want to heat emboss. And your heat embossing has set once your embossing powder changes color. So it won't look powdery anymore, especially with this one, it'll kind of glaze over. I thought this was a really beautiful effect, especially for the snowflakes and the little dots in there that are, I guess, supposed to be like smaller little snowflakes that you can't really see. And I thought it was just the perfect powder to do this card. And it ended up kind of not really, showing kind of anything. Like there was no real sparkle or anything to it. It just left a raised impression on the card, so you can still see that background color, which was really beautiful. So I then went in and used the smaller snowflake stamp to add in some accent spots and just to fill in some more of the space. And for those little snowflakes, I went in with the clear gold sparkle embossing powder, again by Recollections. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful embossing powder. It's really sparkly. It adds such a great, I don't know, like it's just such a great eye catcher. I don't know, I do know. It's a beautiful embossing powder. It's really eye-catching. And then I just went ahead and again brushed off any excess that, might have stuck somewhere. And then just heat embossed it. And once it's set, you're left with a beautiful shimmery effect. And I'm kind of gushing about it a little bit, but I really, really like this embossing pattern. I probably use it every chance I get. It's my most used one at this point. It's honest. It's like, I don't know, about halfway gone now, and I didn't get it that long ago, so that tells you something. And I don't emboss that much, so. Alright, so then I just went in and I cut a base out of some white cardstock. And this is just going to be for our sentiment. And because I don't have a small enough stamp to put in Merry Christmas, I don't actually have a stamp that says Merry Christmas, I went in and I just marked off where I wanted to write it, and I hand wrote it myself. And I went over it in my black Copic Multiliner just to give it a crisp look. You know, sometimes you have to be a little bit inventive when you don't have the supplies. So I decided to turn this into a little banner, and that's really easy to do. I just went in and added a little triangle out there at the end and then cut it out with my craft scissors. And I erased any of my pencil marks. And I wanted to give it a little something extra, so I went in and I cut another piece of white cardstock that was just a slightly bigger than the original, and I stamped that with some VeraMark, and then I go in and I heat emboss it with the gold shimmery sparkle embossing powder by Recollections again. I did end up scraping off some of the embossing powder when I tried to hold it there. And I go in and I fix it later just by adding a little bit more VeraMark and then putting some more embossing powder on it and going over it again with the heat tool. So it was a really easy fix. And then all that's left to do is adhere it to the card, and I just use some craft glue to do that and cut the background into a banner as well. And that's pretty much the card once it's all stuck on. This was really easy to do, and it gives a really great effect, especially with the embossing powder, because it's raised and it gives it a texture. And yeah, so there you have it. Be sure to check back every day this week, so from Sunday, November 22nd to Saturday, November 28th at 4 p.m. Eastern for a new card tutorial. You can subscribe to my channel to be notified when I post a new video, and be sure to share the holiday spirit and share this video with someone who might enjoy it. And until next time, my crafty friends.